In the following video, a woman receives a notification from her Ring camera about strange movement in her attic around 4 a.m. Curious and uneasy, she gets up to check, and this is what she caught. Watch.
This door never stays open. Hello? Feeling weird. The Ring camera is in the room off to the side right there. I don't think I have it in me to go in there right now, 4 a.m. in the dark. What the f is that? Oh, I have goosebumps. Oh my god, goosebumps are... What is that? Oh my god. Oh my god, shut. Please just shut. The chills are crazy right now. Do you guys fucking hear that? The gang is all accounted for. I'm also home alone, in case anyone's wondering. My husband left for work extra early today. Oh my god, I just heard the weirdest sound. Oh my god, I have such crazy goosebumps. Just me and my cow slippers against the world. It's okay, guys. I think. And just for good measure, I'm feeling really weird. Jesus Christ.
The sight of the dolls alone was enough to creep people out, but that wasn't what unsettled viewers the most. On replay, several sharp-eyed commenters noticed what looked like scratches on the attic door, and that small detail was harder to dismiss. One psychic medium from the UK even weighed in, claiming she sensed the spirit of a child lingering there, one who had passed away from an illness in the early 20th century, possibly inside that very home. While this hasn't been confirmed, many can't shake the idea that the strange movement and those dolls are connected, and not in any innocent way, but I'll let you be the judge on this. This next video was captured by Jess on her family's Ring camera one night while she was watching a movie. Have a look.
Why?
Most people know about 3 knocks, which many believe symbolize a mocking of the Holy Trinity, often considered a sinister or demonic sign in paranormal folklore. But only a few know about 4 knocks. Some speculate that 4 knocks could be tied to death omens, a way for spirits to signal their presence more urgently. or even a message from a restless soul trying to communicate unfinished business. But the creepiest part wasn't the knocks themselves, it was the face she swore she saw on the door. Jess says she's waiting to gather more evidence before taking action, hoping it's just a coincidence. But the truth is, in cases like this, the longer you wait, the harder it might be to get rid of whatever's already made its presence known. In this next clip, a woman had just returned from her morning workout when she suddenly felt that strange, uneasy sense that someone was inside her apartment. With nothing but pepper spray tucked in her gym bag and her phone camera, she stepped inside, and this is what she saw.
Que se veía una persona en la habitación 30 y le dije no, y me dice, ¿está ocupada? Le digo no, se desocupó en la mañana y no hay nadie. Yo misma fui a ventilar esa habitación y ahorita que voy pasando por acá me doy cuenta que si es cierto, se ve como que alguien se estuviera asomando en la ventana. Vamos a ver qué es lo que pasa, vamos a ver qué hay ahí, pero se supone que no hay nada y sigue ahí viéndose. Aquí más cerquita. Sí, miren, ahí se alcanza a ver una cara, unos ojos. Vamos a ver a esa habitación. Estamos subiendo las escaleras porque desde ahí es donde estábamos viendo que se veía. Aquí ya no se ve nada, a lo mejor por el reflejo de la luz. Y vamos a ver en la habitación. Aquí está la cama, porque esta es una habitación pequeña. Aquí pues no se ve nada. Y aquí está la tele, donde estábamos, donde se supone que se veía, pero no se ve nada. No entiendo por qué estoy...
In case you're wondering what happened, she later explained that she heard something fall from the bathroom, and as she tried to rush out of the room, she nearly tripped. But here's the thing, this wasn't the first time she's had an experience like this. She claims that on several nights she's heard faint footsteps in her room when she's the only one there. She has come back home to see her door slightly open, and even noticed small items like keys and jewelry move from where she was sure she left them. Some viewers speculate it could be a residual haunting, traces of energy replaying over and over again in the space. Others think it might be something more sinister, possibly even an intruder who knows how to move in and out unnoticed. But what unsettled many the most is the possibility that the activity might be attached to her rather than the apartment. To help herself feel safer, she's already started considering protective steps, even talking about performing a cleansing ritual. Still, there's one question bothering her. Will that be enough? This next clip was captured in Bube's Brewery, Alois Bar, a historic bar in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania that has quite the reputation, and not just for its beer. For years, both visitors and staff have reported strange encounters like seeing a mysterious woman in a long dress wandering and always appearing sad, as if searching for something she lost. Others have heard disembodied voices echo through the halls. Some reported cold spots that appear out of nowhere, lights flickering, and doors slamming shut on their own. Some guests even claim they've been touched, shoved, or followed by something they couldn't see. And then there's the legend of the old brewmaster. Locals whisper that even after his death, he never truly left, and they hear strange tapping sounds, like beer being brewed, when no one is around. But perhaps the most unsettling tale is the one about a sealed bottle hidden deep within the brewery's old cellars, and according to urban legend, breaking it would bring a lifetime of misfortune. The bar itself was built in the 1800s by German immigrant Alois Bube, and remarkably, it remains the only lager-era brewery in the US still standing in its original condition. One night, some workers caught this on camera. Watch.
The bar. Back in that time, everyone would be on horseback, so a very natural stance is this. Also, you want to to be at the front of the bar, get your drinks and everything, you wouldn't move for anything, even to go to the bathroom. So if you follow down this lovely way to the hole in the floor, that's your bathroom. You would just pee here if you notice the floor is actually slanted. So you would just go to the bathroom, and they would have a young boy like 10 to 12 years old. He would be the one that would come in and clean up your yard. You can get Oscar, Henry, and Carl sometimes. We'll go and we'll hit a couple of the other rooms that are outside here too. But you can see some equipment's getting set up. Everyone has their equipment too.
Whether the legends are true or not, the unsettling events inside this bar are difficult to ignore. But until more stories surface from those brave enough to visit, the mystery remains unresolved. This next clip is about a guy named Michael, a paranormal enthusiast who takes his investigations to another level. He doesn't just set up cameras to watch things fall or move, he digs deeper, often using tools like Kinect sensors to detect ghostly figures, adding a tech twist to his investigations. One quiet afternoon, he noticed something strange, a chair moving on its own. And if there's one thing about Michael, it's that he never lets moments like this slip by without digging further. Take a look at what he captured.
Is it fake?
Well, it's obviously you.
It wasn't
No,
me.
it's
It was
her.
you.
Get out, get out, get out, get out. Shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. So as an experiment, I've decided to set up some cameras and microphones around the house, leave them filming through the night, and see what we can pick up. Right, it's 8:30 in the morning. I've just got up and I've collected the footage from the cameras around the house, and I noticed one or two things. During the night, the living room camera caught what appeared to be an orb travelling towards the door. Now, at first I just assumed light reflection, a little bit of a lens flare, whatever. But then I checked the hallway camera at the exact moment the orb hit the door and disappeared, and the orb continued through the hallway and towards the stairs. Now, it's unlikely if it came from any particular light source that the source of light would be able to get round to the front of the house in order to cast the same reflection in the same place it came through. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily proof, but it's definitely a step towards what we're trying to look for. The only thing I can think to do is leave the cameras rolling tonight and see if anything else happens. Morning people, it's now 10 to 7 in the morning. I had to get up for uni. About 3 o'clock last night we heard quite a bit of noise from downstairs, so I set an alarm and I decided to get up slightly early so I can go down and see any changes or check everything out before anyone's had a chance to move it, really. And yeah, so let's go have a look. I'm sorry about the quality of the image. They didn't use gain because of the light, basically. Let's see. Right. So, yeah, not really sure what to think of that. I wonder if my brother came down last night and you know what, I'm gonna go wake him up. Right, I've just looked over the footage and things have got quite interesting. I have just watched my living room chair move across the room by itself, adjust a little bit and then stop. That's not normal by anybody's standards. Now, something like this is easily riggable. You could fake this, it could have been my brother, you could have put the clip on my computer, I don't know. And I'm not going to take it as solid evidence just yet unless, you know, I see it firsthand. I will keep the cameras rolling, so please, you know, keep checking back. And I'm sure if it is real, we'll catch much more interesting stuff.
Now, you might not agree with all of his conclusions, but you've got to give him credit for the thoroughness of his approach. He doesn't just record the activity, he breaks it down, looks for logical explanations, and tests them to see where the evidence truly leads. So with the strange little events he managed to catch on camera that day, what do you think is really happening inside his house? And more importantly, which of Michael's own analyses do you not agree with? The following video was captured by a lady around 1 a.m. after she heard what sounded like footsteps in her hallway. Take a look.
But it's really scary.
Mommy, what are you doing?
Oh, look it! Stop! It turned on. It's a jump rope under there. It was turning on and off right there. My cat is right here, so it's not touching it.
Where's the thing to hold the phone?
Look. What happened to my phone?
Oh, wait. We're recording it. Because that thing was turning on, off and on by itself.
But it was just off for like 20 minutes. And then it popped back on again. So that's the third time.
Oh, how the fuck? Well, first I thought it was the cat.
Wait, now we are getting me scared.
Oh, and then I heard something in the hallway. And then the cat started freaking out. Yeah.
You need to put something else over the line.
Don't be scared. Nothing can harm you, honey.
That's your phone right there. Just let it walk.
I can't. I don't know.
And then over there and it still don't say anything. So, that one was not my
Yeah, he
It's better before.
You can't have it. Okay, so the jump rope is under here. It's just wrapped up. Look, it's not even, there it goes. See, when you move it, like jerk it, it turns on. There's no buttons, there's no remote, nothing like that. You can look it up if you want. It's freaking a little cheap one. Where did we get it from? Cub Foods. Got it from Cub Foods. There's not even a button to turn it on and off. It just sits there. And it turns off by itself. And it turns on when it's moved. And now lately it's been turning on by itself. Just tonight. I don't know. We just got it.
The whole family was awake, trying to make sense of the strange things they were seeing and hearing, but they couldn't find an explanation. And when you piece the details together, first the footsteps, then the light suddenly switching on by itself, despite the fact that it only turns on when someone touches it, the thought that someone or something was inside the house becomes harder to dismiss. So was it a ghost? An intruder they somehow couldn't find? Or something else entirely? You decide. In this next clip, a well-known ghost hunter named Ian continued his investigation inside the infamous Boyd house, an abandoned home long rumored to be haunted by the restless spirits of the family who once lived there. On this visit, he decided to enter a room he hadn't checked during his earlier explorations, and the moment he opened the door, this happened. Watch.
You know, I never actually went in here yet. Whoa. What the heck? I just heard like a voice. Hello? A faint little girl's voice can be heard coming from the closet just as I am opening the door. That was like right when I opened this closet. Is there someone in here? I thought I may have heard someone. Ooh, it is cold in here. Holy. Is there somebody in here? Ooh, I get the chills in there. Something's weird about that closet for sure. I just captured this white mist-like form floating in the closet. Little did I know something quite shocking was about to occur. Oh, what the? What was that? Who's in here? Hello? I feel like something's missing. Look at. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Dude! A freaking doll just got knocked over! Look it! Right there! Holy crap! Oh god, do I dare grab it? Oh, of course I have to grab it. Oh man. Oh, that's like a clown. Ooh, that's a creepy doll. I don't like that. He was like right there, wasn't he?
Later, when he went back through the footage, Ian realized something unsettling. The camera hadn't picked up the doll moving, but the doll wasn't the only creepy thing in this house. One particular room contained a portrait whispered to be cursed. According to local legend, a man once discovered this painting abandoned on the side of the road and took it home. Not long after, his life spiraled into a deep, suffocating depression, one his family said came out of nowhere. Sadly, he eventually took his own life with a gun. Despite all these stories, Ian couldn't leave the house without taking a good look at the painting, and when he entered the room, this happened.
Are you a human spirit? Are you a demon? What are you? That came from above. Are you upstairs? I swear to God, I keep hearing shit up there. Hello? I don't want to cut this room short, but there's stuff going on up there. I don't know. I'm not really feeling much in here at the moment. If this painting is cursed and there is something attached to it, I'm not sensing it right now. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. Yeah, I better check out what's going on upstairs.
Ian's investigation didn't stop there. He eventually left the cursed canvas behind and went upstairs. And just as he did, this happened.
Who's up here? I heard somebody up here. Could you show yourself? Whoa! Oh! I just seen something. I just saw like a light. I just saw like a glow. Holy! It was right over here, just flying right by. I wonder if it's more children. I don't know. I just got that vibe for some reason.
With all the strange experiences he recorded inside the Boyd house, Ian can't help but wonder if the chilling rumors about this place are true, and if the spirits of the family really still lingers within the walls of this house. For more haunting videos, including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a woman named Angelina while she was at the infamous Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, a place many believe to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. Over the years, guests and investigators have reported hundreds of strange encounters here, but what Angelina experiences is subtle but deeply unsettling. It's around 6 a.m. and she's enjoying a quiet morning on the balcony with her coffee. When this happens, watch.
Sydney, there's a ghost singing out here. I'm not even kidding you. Come here. Come here. Just sit out here. Just sit there. It sounds like it's coming right next door, and it's not. Nobody's there. I looked. Just sit down. It'll happen. Are you glad I woke you up? What? Are you glad I woke you up? You would want me to, right? Where is it? It's supposedly coming from over there, but it stops and comes and goes. It's real. You'll hear it. Just sit and listen. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
If you turn your volume up, you'll hear the soft voice of a woman humming an old-fashioned tune, almost like something out of the 1920s. Now here's the strange part. She thinks about waking her daughter so she wouldn't have to experience this alone, but something tells her the sound would stop if she wakes her daughter, and that's exactly what happens. The moment her daughter joins her, the sound disappears completely. Angelina later writes, "I've had a ghost talk to me, grab my hand and poke my back all night long." But this felt different, exciting, but also unnerving, because when she checked, there was no one nearby. After she posted the video, several viewers shared their own terrifying and strange experiences at the same hotel. One person even pointed out that the balcony she filmed from closely resembles the one tied to the legend of the Lady in White, one of the Crescent Hotel's most well-known spirits said to have fallen from that very spot. Now, Angelina has concluded that something paranormal occurred here, but as always, I'll let you be the judge on that. What exactly do you think happened during this recording? Let me know your thoughts on this one. This next clip was recorded by a couple who prefer to go by their initials, K and T. After a year of silence, they are finally speaking up about the strange happenings in their home, like hearing whispers in empty rooms, doors opening on their own, and hearing sounds of heavy breathing just outside their bedroom door at night. But the strangest part is, it only happens when they talk about it. Almost like whatever's living with them is listening. At first, they tried to ignore it, but one morning, while preparing breakfast, they heard that same familiar sound. And this time, they grabbed their phones to finally catch it on camera. Watch this.
Alright, TikTok, here's our door. Hinges to the ground. Okay. The handle. Up, behind. And down. Okay, that's everything. Can you close the door?
Can you close the door? Please?
They've had this particular door checked by professionals multiple times, even replaced it 3 times in 1 year, just to rule out drafts or faulty hinges. But after all that, and everything else they've experienced, they've come to a conclusion. It's not the door, it's a ghost. Now, they've contacted a medium to figure out what the spirit wants. Now, this next clip comes from a woman named Kaylee, and to be honest, everyone who has seen this video can't wrap their heads around why she's still living in that house. She's been hearing strange sounds, like something heavy being rolled across the upstairs bedroom floor, but what she captured on video one night says otherwise.
I know. I heard a noise. I know I did. Came from that room and this bedroom like it always does. Did you guys hear that? I know I probably seem crazy right now, and that's fine. That's valid.
Watch closely. You'll notice the door moving on its own, along with faint tapping sounds. At the time, that's all she gets on camera, but things only got worse. The next night, Kaylee records again, just to prove she's not losing her mind, and this happens.
Did you see that? I don't think I'm gonna go through that door. I think I'm gonna come around this way. Absolutely not. Stop, please. Oh my god, come on. Oh my did you hear that? 3 knocks. I have goosebumps. I don't know if you can tell, but I am a little freaked out this time. Oh shit, I left the attic unlocked. Attic lock check gone wrong because I left that shit unlocked. It's fine though. Did you guys see that though when I was on the other side of this door? Damn, that shit opened fast. Just gonna one last peek in the living room. Okay.
After posting the video, she joked that it had to be her husband messing with her, but viewers weren't buying it. Some pointed out something Kaylee didn't notice at the time, a faint woman's chuckle right after she says, "Did you see that?" Others mention how there were no footsteps or shadows visible, and if someone had actually been nearby, there should have been some kind of movement or they could have heard footsteps. But the most unsettling thing was the fact that she had dolls. Viewers couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, especially with the way the dolls were positioned and the way they looked. A few days later, Kaylee is meditating upstairs in her usual chair when a strange, low-pitched vibration starts out of nowhere. She tries to ignore it, but after 2 minutes, it doesn't stop, so she gets up to investigate. That's when she sees this.
I'm genuinely so freaked out. I never get freaked out like this. What the f?
A candle holder, vibrating all on its own. There's no fan, no heater, no air current, nothing that could explain it, but it doesn't stop there. What happens next takes things to a whole new level. You'll notice that nothing else in the room is moving, which rules out a draft. But more than what she could see, Kaylee also says that in that moment, she could feel a heavy presence, like someone was standing right behind her, but she was home alone. She has been finding ways to rationalize the strange events that have been happening in her house, but this time, she had nothing. And from this moment, the activity in the house escalated. She couldn't sleep, became restless, and night after night, the tension in the house only grew. Finally, one evening, she decides to sleep in a specific Airbnb room where the activity tends to spike, and to record everything. This is what she captures.
on the floor last time. I couldn't find it. Do you guys see it? And I'm just blind. Not sure where that came from, but damn, I really didn't want to lose that chain. But I guess that is a sign. And no, I don't know why this W is here. It was there when we moved in. Perfect.
The tapping start again. Sharp, deliberate, and too consistent to be written off as water pipes or heating systems. What's even more disturbing is that the tapping sounds match the ones she's heard before, particularly in the downstairs living room. But what really unsettled viewers came later when Kaylee opened the attic, the creepy looking doll that sat alone on the blanket. Kaylee even gave it a name, Betsy, and apparently in a previous clip she shared, there was a chain line on the blanket next to Betsy. But now, it had completely vanished. Many viewers, however, commended her for being brave enough to even enter that attic, especially at night, and for the fact that with all the strange activities going on in this house, Kaylee and her husband still feel oddly at peace in the home. They've received countless messages urging them to leave, to cleanse the space, even to burn sage and get rid of the dolls. But according to them, something about the energy feels innocent. Like whatever's there doesn't want to hurt them, it's just part of the home and they're willing to coexist with it. We wish them luck and hope whatever is living in that house continues to mean no harm. In the following video, Kyle was getting ready to head out with his fiancée when something strange caught his attention. Now, according to Kyle, unusual things have been happening around his house for a while now. Aggressive banging, the creepy sound of children laughing, and things moving right in front of his eyes. Every time something truly strange happened, Kyle wasn't always able to record it, but this day, he was prepared. Have a look. After closing the door, a low, deep growling starts echoing from inside. Then the lights begin to flicker, quickly followed by bizarre sounds that he can't quite explain. It gets worse when what sounds like knocking begins, but no one's in the room. Kyle believes something or someone didn't want them leaving the house, but what happened next felt less like a warning and more like a threat.
Let's go smoke. Damn. I don't think I should have burned that book, yo. I keep hearing something.
He only noticed it later, while reviewing the footage, that there was a distorted voice, almost like a whisper layered beneath the noise. And if you look closely, his cat clearly senses it too. It runs, then starts moving like it's tracking something invisible. Then the knocking sound starts again, louder this time, so Kyle tries to trace it, moving from room to room. And then he opens a door with a distinctive creak. If you listen closely right after that, you'll hear faint voices. Some viewers say it sounds like someone speaking, others say it's unintelligible, but whatever it is, it's enough to rattle anyone. Also, earlier in the video, Kyle casually mentioned something odd, a book he shouldn't have burned, and that might be where all of this started. Here's the backstory. He found an old, worn Raggedy Ann book stuffed deep inside a closet that looked ancient and creepy, so he got rid of it by burning it. But ever since that day, the activity in the house has only intensified. Shadows would appear briefly at the corner of his vision, only to vanish the moment he looked directly at them. Kyle is now convinced that destroying the book didn't get rid of the energy tied to it, it released it. And honestly, that tracks with what many believe about burning objects tied to spiritual energy. The belief is that burning strange or cursed objects doesn't destroy them, it releases the energy trapped inside. If that's true, Kyle may have accidentally set something free. Some viewers are convinced he's dealing with a haunting, possibly even something darker like a demon. Others think there might be another explanation entirely. But as with many of these cases, this one remains a mystery. The following video was captured by Callie Payne after weeks of experiencing unexplainable events in her apartment. One night, she heard scratching, like fingernails dragging across the walls from inside. Another day, it's the sound of someone pacing on her balcony, even when it's empty. But on this particular morning, shortly after finishing breakfast, she caught this on camera.
Oh my god.
Now, this wasn't the first time her front door had opened and slammed itself shut. In fact, after the first incident, she called an artisan to inspect the hinges, the alignment, even the air vents. Nothing was wrong, and there was no logical reason for the way that door moved. With everything else that's been happening, like footsteps, cold drafts in sealed rooms, flickering hallway lights that seem to respond to movement, there's only one explanation that makes sense. There's a spirit in that apartment. She's planning to sage the entire place, and we can only hope it's enough to send the spirit back to where it came from. This next clip was recorded by an adventurous woman named Amber Nicole, who isn't new to paranormal activities, so she didn't think twice before signing the lease on her new apartment, even after learning what happened there. The previous tenants had lost their mother in that very house, and according to them, her spirit never really left. Every night, at the exact time she passed, strange sounds echoed through the home, soft moaning, then tapping, sometimes a sharp knock. Objects would shift slightly, drawers would click open on their own, but they couldn't take it, so they left. This information didn't bother Amber, so she picked the place anyway, and for the first week, the only thing she had to deal with was the noises. Her best bet was headphones, so she simply wore headphones when they began, but after a few days, other activities started. One afternoon while she was trying to prepare lunch, this happened. Amber believes the spirit of the mother still has strong opinions, especially about how she runs the house. She's convinced that the ghost hates when she leaves the refrigerator door open, and it's not just that. If she places items in the wrong spot, like putting the sugar jar on the wrong counter or misplacing the kitchen towels, before she even turns back around, they're back where the ghost seems to want them. To Amber, this isn't haunting. It's a housemate with very firm rules. And as far as she's concerned, they found a rhythm, and she's content living with the spirit, and honestly, We just hope it stays this way. You ever get that feeling that a house picked you instead of the other way around? That's how Kyle Anthony described it after moving into his new place. It looked normal enough, but something about it just didn't sit right. He'd hear knocking sounds from nowhere and faint voices always at night, but the house was old, so he concluded it was the structure settling, until one day, curiosity got the better of him. He realized he'd never actually checked the attic, so he grabbed a flashlight and found a creepy old doll, a rusted tin bowl filled with plastic eyeballs, and a small trinket box that rattled when he shook it, but wouldn't open. There were other odd objects too, things he couldn't even explain, all just sitting there, untouched. But everything changed one night at exactly 3:45 a.m. when the knocking returned, louder than ever. Then, a man's voice whispered, "It's almost time." Kyle grabbed his camera and stepped out to check. This is what he caught.
Gosh dang it, kitty. Man, I guess we're getting no sleep tonight, y'all. I got woken up a little while ago. As you can see, there was knocking sounds. I heard a voice. What woke me up was, I swear I heard something say, "It's almost time." It's almost time. It was a man's voice. And then I started hearing knocking. So I got up, started going around through the house, turned on the lights on, and you heard some of it. It just keeps happening. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. I swear. What? I guess I'm just gonna be staying up now. Let's see what time it is. 3:45 a.m. All right. I guess we're just gonna be up for the day now.
What really caught people off guard in this footage was the cats. They were calm, completely unfazed, and that confused a lot of people, because cats are known to be highly sensitive to spiritual energy. But here's a possibility. In rare cases, experts say that when a spirit is old, like very old, its energy can become almost residual, like part of the house itself. Some also believe cats are spiritual protectors and are able to detect negative energy, but not always disturbed by it unless it poses a threat. The video was sent to the ghost hunter and is pending review. We can only hope that Kyle receives the help he deserves. This next clip was recorded by a woman named Claire, who recently bought an old barn on the edge of town. It seemed like a dream come true, quiet, private, and perfect for her horses, but every time she went there, it always felt like she wasn't alone. One night, she decided to bring her camera with her, just in case, and this is what she caught. If you listen closely, just before the video ends, there's a whisper, soft and quick, but she swears she was completely alone. And that's not the only strange part. She pointed out that her horse is usually calm and friendly, but this night he was suddenly antsy, stomping, breathing hard, and refusing to go near the far end of the barn. It's often said that animals, especially horses, are incredibly sensitive to spiritual energy, and when they act like that for no visible reason, it means they're sensing something you can't. Claire has now contacted a local investigator, and they're digging into the history of the barn. Not many people would go ahead and live in a house that's surrounded by haunting rumors, so we have to give Lila some credit, because despite everything she'd heard, she moved into her parents' old apartment, fully aware of the stories. According to locals, a man named Ray took his own life in that house back in 1969, and ever since then, people who live nearby have always said there was something off about that place. Every night since she moved in, a shadowy figure of a man stands at her bedroom door. Doors creak open on their own, despite the house being locked tight. and Lila says she sometimes hears dragging footsteps in the hallway, like someone pacing restlessly, waiting, and she wakes up with the distinct scent of men's vintage cologne lingering in her room even though no one had visited. One night after coming home from work, this happened.
Ray? Hello?
What makes this clip even more disturbing is that the lamp she captured wasn't even plugged into any power source, and with her dog barking at the exact same hour each night, always in the direction of the hallway where the shadow stands, Lila's convinced Ray's ghost is still in the house. She's already contacted a medium to help her figure out what he wants. We hope she gets answers before the visits become something more. Tom recently took a trip to St. Augustine, a city with a long, haunted history, and while he was there, he decided to sign up for one of those ghost investigation tours. But here's the thing, he ended up being the only person on the tour besides the guide. The guide took him to an old building that had once served as a colonial jail, and in one of the rooms where they stopped to rest, this happened. You can clearly see the flashlight turned on by itself, then slowly rolled off the table like someone invisible gave it a little nudge. That night, Tom barely slept, because no matter where he placed that flashlight, in his bag, in the drawer, even on a windowsill, it always ended up back on the floor. But that wasn't even the worst part. He says the whispers he heard got louder the closer it got to 3 a.m. And there was this constant, rhythmic tapping, like fingernails scratching lightly along the metal bed frame, that didn't stop until sunrise. To make it even creepier, his phone's voice recorder, which he hadn't touched, activated on its own, and when he checked the file, there were no voices, just whispers in a language he couldn't recognize, like chanting. With everything he experienced that night, Tom is convinced there was a ghost, maybe several in that room, and after what happened, he's not sure he'll ever do a solo ghost tour again. The following clips were recorded by Abby's family who, instead of a Merry Christmas, got a terrifying one. They were decorating the attic for storage when they found an old, dusty photo album filled with black and white portraits of people no one in the family recognized, and most of the faces had their eyes scratched out. A few days after Christmas, Abby was alone in the living room when she decided to set up her camera, and this is what she caught. If you listen closely, you'll hear a faint whisper, then the chair starts moving on its own. The family's aware they're not alone in the house, and while skeptics online were quick to say it looked staged, Abby decided to respond directly.
So I got a lot of replies like this one, and I just chose one to reply to. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm not trying to fight with anybody. If someone doesn't think this is real or that there is a ghost or whatever, that is fine. Not everyone believes in ghosts. In fact, I didn't believe in ghosts before this happened to me, or not everyone is going to believe everything that someone posts on the internet, and that's fine. I don't have enough time to argue with people. My husband did not just get out of that chair. He was actually coming from the back of the house where he was putting away laundry and was walking through that hallway. I didn't make that as clear like in the first video when I said he was putting laundry away. I meant to say like he was back there. He was not in that living room with me, sitting in that chair. I know a lot of people, for good reason, are worried about me still being in this house and everything. I'm no longer afraid of the ghost or spirit. We'll call her Gertie. I'm pretty sure I know who she is. I have seen her. I won't talk about that right this second because I don't want this video to be like super long. I'm just trying to answer some quick questions, but I originally was afraid of her. I'm not now. I think that she's a good person and that she's just there to maybe like enjoy Christmas. She only shows up around Christmas time when Christmas decorations are out. So I think that she just really likes Christmas and like seeing my kids enjoy the holidays. She had a lot of kids, if it's who I think she was. Who I think she is there were two previous owners before we lived here, and one of them was, I think I replied to a comment where someone said that they thought it was a person in their mid to late 40s, a lady in their mid to late 40s. And I said, oh my gosh, that's the same age as the lady that passed when she lived here. I was wrong about that. She was actually 56 when she passed, but close enough. And they had built this house, her and her husband, and she didn't really get a chance to live in it very long before she passed away. She passed away in the late 80s, so I have no idea. I have searched to see how she passed or anything about her, to see a picture or whatever, and I cannot find one. I have a friend who's a better internet sleuth than I am on it, so maybe we'll find out some more information. But yeah, that's who I think she is, and I do not think that she is harmful. If you have any other questions, specific questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. It's very hard for me to make a bunch of content. I'm a stay-at-home mom to a toddler, and I have 2 older kids in school, so I'm constantly running them around. So when I have time, TikTok is just for fun for me. I will make videos and try to answer all your questions. But thanks so much for having some interest in my ghost stories. I know a lot of people like to hear this kind of thing, which is why I decided to throw it out here on TikTok.
Interestingly, a few viewers backed up her story, claiming they'd heard about the history of the house and its former owners. While it might seem odd to some that her family is staying put and getting used to the paranormal activity, others can't help but ask, what happens when the ghost gets angry? Well, we wish them luck. In the following video, Kelsey shares a strange experience that took place just days after a heartbreaking loss, and she even shares what she thinks might be behind it. Now, just for context, Kelsey's grandfather was a huge believer in ghosts and spirits, and he always told her that if he ever made it to the other side, he'd find a way to prove he's still around. Sadly, he passed away on November 12th, 2023, and 2 days later, Kelsey woke up to this.
See? What the? What the? Nobody's down here.
For some reason, the lights downstairs were flashing, and at first she assumed one of her kids had gotten out of bed and was messing around. But here's where it gets strange. As she reaches halfway down the stairs, the lights suddenly turn off and stay off. But with nothing unusual in sight, she goes back to bed. A few moments later, it happens again. Only this time, she wakes her husband and they both go to check. And once again, right when they get halfway down the stairs, the lights turn off and stay off. Now, this is where things start to get pretty creepy. Ever since that night, it hasn't happened again. So now Kelsey is left wondering, is this just faulty wiring? A coincidence? A sign from her grandpa like he promised? Or something else entirely? Some viewers believe it was a gentle message from her grandpa. Others aren't so sure, and some wonder if it wasn't her grandfather at all, but something else entirely. Like other videos, I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. Now, this next video comes from Kuma, a content creator who usually posts casual moments from his everyday life, time with friends, and life around the city. But viewers get completely thrown off when he shares something way creepier, an unsettling encounter inside his new home, which used to be a church before it was converted into a community space. Before we get into the footage, here's what you need to know. Kuma had barely been living in the house for 3 days when he started hearing unexplained screams and strange noises echoing through the building late at night. And according to him, the strange activity seemed to intensify right after he and his friends had a conversation about the paranormal events that happened at his old place. But it gets a whole lot stranger when his friends come over one evening and they actually catch something on camera. Have a look. This white balloon was gently drifting through the hallway like it had somewhere to be, but the moment they decide to follow it, And as they're talking about how bizarre it is, the balloon suddenly stops, then begins moving faster, this time chasing them instead. At this point, they panic and run.
Separate? No. Like, move away from it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was like, no. It is what in the say faster, motherfucker.
It continued to get quicker and more aggressive.
If it comes towards us, I'm grabbing shit, we're dipping.
But here's the strange part. Somehow, the balloon ends up exactly where they run to, and the way it moves, it's not random. It drifts with intent, slowing down, then speeding up, like it's choosing where to go next.
In here. Oh, hell no! Oh, shit! If it comes in towards up,
The noise you hear is a small electrical box that has the littlest airflow that has ever existed.
Oh, it's being blown around.
Okay, wait, maybe it's done now. Dude, you snapped over that way. Why? Why? Dude, no, because like my phone's actually like glitching out too. Why the Hold on. Dude, we're gonna have to walk. Okay, that was that. Oh, wait, no, because that was that. Okay, we might have got it trapped. Is it cold?
Oh, there's barely even coming out of it.
Why is it going so fast then?
Move,
There's no air in that shit. Oh.
It eventually stops at the base of the stairs, almost like it's deciding what to do, maybe watching them split up and trying to figure out who to follow. But when one of the friends heads to the other side of the building to investigate further, he sees something else.
The second one snuck down the stairs and jolted upwards. We investigated, and there were no signs of force there anywhere at that time.
You can come back down here and join us. You probably just got pushed by some air.
I know it's probably frustrating to have been pushed around by all that air, but as you can see with the other balloon, it's not as windy over here in the middle by us.
It went almost the same route as the first balloon.
And guess what it's doing? Are you gonna come join us, or are you gonna go downstairs?
Apparently, there's two of them. After quietly monitoring it, the balloon drifts quietly into the gym and settles in a shadowy corner of the room where it stops moving completely. Now, looking back at the video, viewers point out that while it might seem funny at first, there's something really unsettling about the movement of these balloons, especially when you remember this building had years of untouched history. And who knows what may have taken place within those walls. Somehow, the whole thing feels like more than coincidence and remains a mystery. This next clip shows Luke having a quiet evening when he decides to check his CCTV footage just out of curiosity, but what he finds completely throws him off. Watch.
So I'm currently home alone, watching Mind CTV. Mind you, my masks are right up there. What the f is this? So like I said, I'm watching this bullshit as if that's not freaky enough. At midnight, home alone. What's really creeping me out is the fact that there is a mask on my fridge. Here, let me zoom. That's not my mask. My mask is behind me. So I don't know who put that mask here. Bro, what the Where'd the fucking mask go?
While Luke is still trying to explain, it suddenly disappears, almost like something removed it entirely. But this incident gets a whole lot stranger because after sharing the clip online, viewers start pointing out something Luke hadn't noticed before, and the reaction forces him to make a pretty big confession, along with a brand new wave of concern. Here's what he shared.
I didn't expect this video to blow up, but since y'all are asking, we live up in this hoe. We live. The masks are up there. But I'm going to shoot you guys straight. I did put a mask on top of the fridge. But what I can't seem to understand, and what I'm actually kind of fucking freaked out about, is the fact that there was a silhouette. See, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I did put this mask over there. I'll admit it, I did. But what's freaking me out is you guys pointing out the fact that there's a silhouette. I don't know what's casting a shadow here or what's going on here, but like, I did have to turn on the lights after this because you guys started pointing this out. I turned on the lights and put on the office because what the fuck? Is Michael Myers up in my house? What the fuck just happened? That's some bullshit. Alright, so there's the fridge that I put the mask on top of. It was sitting right up there. There's the piece of paper, but I have no idea what could have casted the shadow or made the silhouette. I'm still confused by this. It's freaking me out. I don't know.
Some viewers believe something inside the house has taken form, that whatever presence may be there has chosen a face and is starting to make itself known. And with the growing number of strange things he's experiencing, he's starting to wonder if whatever this is might not stop here. Luke also admits that there have been odd things happening around the house for a while now, things he thought were nothing until this video started getting traction. Luke is still confused by it all, and honestly a little unsettled because somehow what people saw in this clip is worse than what he originally posted. Paranormal or not, something doesn't feel right here. In this next clip, Alea shares some strange activity that's been happening in their home, particularly in their bedroom. According to her, things have been visibly moving on the bed in ways that don't make any sense. One night, she sees this when she decides to check her security camera footage, and when she turns around and something even more unsettling was happening. Take a look. You can clearly see the cover shifting, like something is crawling under it. But there's no wind, no air vent, and Alea explains that the background noise is just white noise from her TV, which she was recording at the time. She also points out that the bed is flat on the floor, making it even more confusing. And what makes this even more unsettling is the timing. Alea had recently lost 2 significant people in her life, both within just 5 months of each other. So naturally, the idea that this could be connected isn't easy to ignore. But this is where things start to get pretty creepy. One comment in particular caught Alea's attention, someone warning that the activity might escalate. And they weren't wrong because not long after, this happens.
That's never done that.
That cabinet had never acted up before until the bed activity started, and from there, it's been one strange event after another. Nothing in the house feels normal anymore. Now, Alea and her husband aren't exactly scared because they've lived in a house with what they believe was demonic energy before, but this time, they're just trying to figure out what exactly they're dealing with. So, did Alea capture something paranormal, or is there another explanation for what's going on in their home? You decide. This next video comes from content creators who work off the coast of Maine and describe themselves as the lobster captains of the FV Frequent Flyer. While filming one of their usual drives, they pass an old, decaying house sitting alone in the woods, and what they capture on camera leaves them completely baffled. Watch.
So this house, the first time we passed it, Chase said the bottom part was not blinking. It was on, but it wasn't blinking. See how the different lights are at different intervals? The kitchen light being on. And then in the fire room over there's a light that's going off and on. No one lives here. I think that this house may be haunted. Chase is gonna go inside and check it out.
Fuck you, I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, this house is vacant right now. And it's more than one electrical circuit, so it can't be one malfunctioning.
For some reason, the lights inside the house are flickering, but here's the weird part. The creators confirmed that the owners live out of state and did not have power on. So, what exactly is going on in this house? A year later, they returned to check on the same property, and what they captured this time is even more unsettling. Take a look.
Who would pay for electricity? Whoa, something just changed. Did you just see that? Something most definitely just changed.
What changed?
One of the lights paused for a second. There's no cars. It's 10 o'clock at night. This is 1 year later. Now, we did meet the girl that grew up here. This was her childhood home. She absolutely 100% said it was haunted.
She actually made
a video. What is her screen name? Jenna
something, I can't remember.
She 100% confirmed that this house is haunted. I just can't imagine anybody keeping the fucking power on for the lights to blink.
Now, aside from the creators confirming their story with someone named Jenna, things take a strange turn in the comments section. Jenna's sister, Alyssa, leaves a message confirming the house is, in her words, haunted. She writes, "Jenna is my sister, and I am also going to confirm that this house is haunted." Another very strange thing the creators revealed was that the house had been abandoned for years, but the family never put it up for sale and simply just let it rot. But the strangest part of all, and maybe the most unsettling, happened the next morning when the creators returned for one last look. Here's what they captured.
So it looks like one light downstairs is blinking, but the upstairs light isn't. This is a house during the daytime. Timer maybe? I don't know. But as you can see, it's definitely grown up. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Screw this place. So one light is on, blinking, but the upstairs And the downstairs second light that was blinking is not on.
Viewers got into overdrive and started picking out even more details, pointing to shapes, shadows, and faces that the creators hadn't noticed at all. And while the creators haven't posted any updates since then, these videos still circulate and continue to raise questions. Was something hiding in plain sight all along? Or is there a more rational explanation behind the flickering lights and shadowy figures? This one remains a mystery. In the following video, Marcus Belton was driving home through Ravens Hollow, Maine, exhausted after a long shift and just wanting to crawl into bed. But as he entered his street, his headlights lit up his driveway and he saw something that took him off guard.
Okay, so I just got home from work and there should be nobody at my house right now. I mean, it should be completely empty. But I just pulled up and what is that? Is that a person? What the fuck is that? There should be nobody in the house. Nobody at all. Okay, well. Guess let's check it out. Okay.
Someone in a dark hoodie was standing really still and silent by his door, almost like they had been waiting for him the whole time. This was strange because Marcus lived alone, wasn't expecting anyone, and nobody had a spare key, so whoever that was, they definitely weren't supposed to be there. He stepped out of the car and hurried toward the house, but by the time he reached the door, the figure had vanished. Just like that, no sound, no running, no one walking away, like the person disappeared into thin air. Marcus looked around, checked for prints or any sign someone had actually been there, but he didn't find a single trace. He tried to make sense of it, but the only explanation that stuck was the one he didn't want to believe. A paranormal entity had been there. This video was recorded at a primary school in Ohio where students and teachers often joke about a ghost said to haunt room 3B. You'll hear things like, "Say hi when you walk past room 3B, he likes it." Everyone knew who he was supposed to be, the ghost of a little boy who died long ago and, according to legend, never really left. Most people laughed it off as a harmless story, but that all changed one night when a janitor heard light giggling echoing through the empty hallway. That moment stirred curiosity among some of the teachers, and one Friday evening, they decided to stay late and check the school's security footage from the hallway outside room 3B. They watched in silence, expecting nothing, but then something happened.
Я к нему как-то уже лояльно.
Ну так спокойно. И что, на одном месте? Мы все здороваемся с ним теперь.
Да, я ему говорю, привет.
Видишь ребенок?
Видишь, как ребенок.
Когда выходит на черное, его сильно вообще видно. Снимает. Иди сюда, мы же...
Не.
Мы забыли вывести, это можно уже на большой экран вывести.
Смотри, на большом экране.
Смотри.
Вот ходит, сейчас спустится. Вон он идет, видишь?
Видишь? Вот здесь вообще как ребенок, смотри, да?
Капец, вообще, ты видишь?
Ну, конечно, вот и в телефоне
да.
Вот он тоже.
И в актовом зале их там 3 штуки играют.
О, ничего себе.
Но они летают. Они летают, как бы играют.
Они не ходят, они летают. А вон сейчас уже на стенке,
А я подошла туда
к лестнице.
К лестнице. Вот включила, ничего не снимает телефон там.
At first, it was faint, like a shadow that shouldn't have been there, but as they leaned closer, it looked like a little kid. It started moving, and within seconds, it was gone. Most would have dismissed it if it wasn't caught on camera, but this time, the evidence was undeniable. The footage was later submitted to the school board and eventually shared with a local paranormal investigator. For now, Room 3B remains locked after hours, not because of fear, but because they're waiting to see if it happens again. And if it does, the next step might not just be investigation, it could be a full-on cleansing. Devin Hale is a 34-year-old architect living alone in a quiet neighborhood just outside Portland, Oregon. One evening, while relaxing and watching TV like usual, he suddenly heard a loud crash from the kitchen, like a whole stack of plates hitting the floor. He jumped up, ran to check, and that's when things got real. Watch this.
Excuse me. Are you back there again? This has become its favorite spot. Now, and there he is. Okay, that's enough water, please. Okay. Everyone can see you in their reflection, bud. Everyone can see you in their reflection. And it's gone. Okay. I know he's not in here, but I just want anyone who's watching to see. This is too small, but just like it's not. I just wanted you to see. The cabinets are knocking again. I'm leaving. Out. That's enough for today.
He stood there trying to convince himself he had imagined it, because that's what we all do, right? But then the kitchen tap turned on, and no, it wasn't one of those motion sensor types. His tap needed to be turned manually. Still confused, but trying to stay calm, he walked over and turned it off, thinking the problem was solved, but as soon as he stepped back, the tap turned on again. The fact that he had to turn it off himself meant something else must have physically turned it on, and that something was certainly not human. He decided to check the laundry room next door, but as he approached, he saw a dark shadow shaped like a person. He ran into the laundry room, which was completely empty, but he was absolutely sure someone or something was watching him. Ever since that night, the tap in Devin's kitchen has developed a creepy habit. Every single night at exactly 8:13 p.m., it turns itself on. Devin has tried plumbing repairs and even got a new faucet, but nothing changed. At this point, there's no other way to explain it. This was definitely a ghost. He sent the footage to a group of investigators, and based on the behavior and strength of the entity's presence, they concluded it was a demon. I hope he receives all the help he needs. I hate seeing kind and normal people pulled into the world of the paranormal, especially when all they wanted was a sense of peace or closure. Eric and Naomi Dalton live in a quiet neighborhood in Flagstaff, Arizona, and had been missing Eric's late father more than usual lately. One afternoon, in a lighthearted moment, they joked about asking for a sign, one of those, "if you're out there, give us a hint." Moments you never expect to actually work, but what followed made them wonder if someone had truly been listening. Around 12:40 p.m., they were checking on their dog through their indoor camera when they noticed something unusual. See for yourself what the camera picked up. Before you dismiss it as faulty wiring, Eric explained their bedroom faces the bathroom and there's no shared lighting between the rooms. Plus, their blackout curtains are thick and pulled all the way down, so no light should be coming through at all. At first, the faint glow might look like a trick of the eye or a smudge on the camera lens, but then the light begins to move, slowly and deliberately, like someone waving a dim torch back and forth. But this wasn't the first strange thing to happen in their home, but it was the first time it happened in daylight, and Eric said it felt different and stronger this time, like someone or something was truly listening. They've since saged the house, kept a nightlight on in the hallway, and tried to pretend things are back to normal. Hopefully it stays that way. Camille Moreau is a single mom living in Lyon, France, and not long ago, she moved into what she thought was her dream apartment. But it didn't take long before that dream started to feel like a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. One night, just as she was about to fall asleep, she heard a loud bang from somewhere inside the apartment and walked toward the bathroom. She wasn't prepared for what happened next. The toilet seat moved all by itself, and Camille ran into the next room to catch her breath. But before she could even process what she saw, a picture frame that had been sitting perfectly still for weeks fell flat on its face. Things escalated quickly, and before she could move, the door slammed shut, the lights began to flicker, random objects rolled across the floor. Then a slow, eerie melody started playing from somewhere inside the walls, like the building itself was singing. Scared for her kids, Camille did what any good mother would do. She sent her kids to live with their father, but she's still stuck there because all her savings went into that apartment, and now she's asking for help. She has reached out for help and is hoping a paranormal expert can step in and bring some peace back into her life. We wish Camille the best in banishing this spirit once and for all. Some videos are not about what was seen, but more about what was heard, and trust me, it's the kind of sound that stays with you long after the video ends. A family in Pennsylvania decided to check their doorbell camera after the motion detector went off around 3:17 a.m., and when they looked, there was no person outside, no package was dropped off, it was just light. Watch closely and listen carefully to what they found. Small, glowing shapes floating and swirling like they had a mind of their own. But what really gives you chills isn't the light, it's the sound. The faint, scratchy voice loops repeatedly, saying, "Can you tell me how to get?" And that's it. The question never finishes. It just repeats over and over, like someone stuck in time, trying to ask something they never get to say. Some believe it's a lost spirit asking for directions in the only way it knows how. Others think it's simply residual energy trapped in a loop. But with no one there, no interference, and no technical faults to explain what was captured, this was certainly a ghost. A security supervisor at a museum in California worked there for 3 years, and from day one, people warned him the elevator was haunted, but he dismissed it as just another strange workplace story. Over time, the weird stories kept coming, and during one of his night shifts, at exactly 3:40 a.m., he witnessed something he couldn't explain. Watch what the camera caught that night. The inside light of the elevator by right suddenly turned on, and it stayed on for nearly an hour and a half, until 5 a.m. The next day, they ran a full diagnostic on the elevator, electrical tests, door sensors, motion detectors, but there were no malfunctions, no power surges, absolutely nothing to explain what happened. But let's be real, elevators don't activate themselves for over an hour without cause, and if no one was inside, then something else was. Whether it was the restless ghost people whispered about, or a more powerful entity tied to the building, one thing's clear, this wasn't a glitch. It was paranormal. Shortly after, they brought in a priest to bless the building, and the elevator specifically. They even closed off the elevator for 2 weeks. We hope this will be the end of the paranormal activity. Jane and her partner recently booked a night at a hotel they've heard several stories about, like doors opening and closing on their own, and guests checking out early with pale faces and nervous laughter. But instead of getting scared, they got curious. They didn't just want stories, they wanted proof, and that's exactly what their camera caught.
It's okay. I can see you. Come to me. Are you a little boy? It's okay. Come here. It's okay. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but it looks like it's going like back and forth. You see a movie? See a movie?
No.
It's okay.
Wait. Come back.
Where?
No, you come back. Go straight. Look straight towards me. No. Turn towards me like you were earlier. Put your back towards me.
With no footsteps and no sound at all, the shadow was still, till it started moving. Instead of freaking out, Jane leaned forward, but her partner was clearly feeling nervous, so he told her to step back, and that's when a shadow moved across the room. It looked like the shadow of a child, and was fast like something alive and playful. The couple barely slept that night, and when the sun came up, they packed their bags and checked out without looking back. After reviewing the footage back home, Jane and her partner decided to send it to a local paranormal investigator who had studied that hotel for years. What he told them confirmed what they already felt in their gut. The shadow wasn't a trick of the light. In fact, similar sightings had been reported before, all pointing to the same room, the same childlike figure. The expert believes the spirit might still be searching for her family, for peace, or simply for someone to notice. One thing's for sure, now that she's been seen again, the activity may only grow stronger. Kelsey Davis always thought being a mom meant dealing with tantrums, toys scattered across the floor, and the occasional sleepless night, but never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that bedtime would become the most terrifying part of her day. It started when her young son began having full conversations with no one there, pausing like he was listening to someone speak back. She brushed it off at first as just an imaginary friend, but something about the way he responded didn't sit right with her. One night, she decided to record him.
Who are you saying goodnight to?
Him. Good night.
Who?
Him. Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Him up there.
Show me.
Him up there. Him up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now.
Her son stood in his room, looked toward the ceiling, and calmly said goodnight to an empty corner. Kelsey didn't see anything unusual, but the room didn't feel right, so she shared the footage with a group of ghost hunters to see if they could make sense of it. For now, the situation remains unresolved, and while the activity hasn't stopped, she's hoping the team steps in soon to help figure out what is sharing the room with her son. Jake never believed in ghosts, not as a kid, not as a teen, and not even after his uncle passed away, leaving behind his old garage where he spent most of his time fixing things. The space had been untouched for years, his tools still on the bench, his jacket still on the hook, like he'd be back any minute. Then one night, something strange happened. While Jake was scrolling through his phone, he heard the door slowly open on its own, and while he brushed it off at first, the light inside turned on by itself. But the switch was an old manual one, so it made no sense that it would come on by itself. He checked the footage again and again, searching for some explanation, convinced he'd missed something, but the video showed no movement until he turned the volume up and heard uneven footsteps coming from inside the garage. This only convinced him the situation was far from ordinary, and that sometimes the dead don't rest quietly, they just keep doing what they always did, waiting for someone to notice. This next clip comes from a creator named Chai, someone known for her hilarious takes on everyday life, relatable skits, and the kind of content that makes you laugh even on the toughest days. But recently, she posted something that felt completely different, something personal, unsettling, and impossible to explain.
Okay, who is it?
Daddy. Daddy's right there.
Is it your daddy?
No, it's your daddy.
Is where?
Daddy's right there.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, show me.
See?
Oh.
Your daddy's missing you.
My daddy's missing me?
That's your dad.
Let's go get him. Where'd he go?
In you.
Okay, show me.
Chai's 2-year-old daughter stands quietly in the hallway, calmly repeating the words, "Dad is missing you." What makes this feel truly strange is that Chai's father passed away in 2002. Her daughter had never heard stories about him, never seen a photo, and yet she spoke as if she'd known him all her life. Now, Chai finds herself caught between believing this was just a coincidence or something else entirely, something trying to lure her into that room. She hasn't stepped inside for months, and it's hard to blame her because anyone in her position would be left wondering what might happen if they walked into that room. Few days into the new year, Alex, who worked in an ancient building, got stuck working a late shift alone. When he was about to leave and locking up, something terrifying happened. Have a look.
What was that?
Yeah. Did you hear that? He heard a voice that was like someone calling out for help. Alex knew he was the only one left in the building. He still turned to look, more out of instinct than reason, but the hallway was empty. The next day, unsure of what to make of it, he decided to look into the building's history, just to see if there was anything that might explain what he'd heard. But what he found was far more disturbing than he could have imagined. Years ago, a janitor had been working that same hallway when a maintenance door came loose and fell, trapping him behind it. And though he called out again and again, his voice echoing through the corridors, no one heard him in time. After learning that, Alex was convinced the voice he heard wasn't just in his head, it was the echo of a spirit still waiting to be heard. Since then, he's made sure he's never the last one to leave. Cameras don't lie, they catch what we miss. Moments we're too distracted to notice, and sometimes signs that something paranormal might still be out there. Melissa, a single mom living in Asheville, North Carolina, had been noticing something strange outside her home for months. Like someone walking past at odd hours, always just out of view. Hoping to ease her mind, she installed a small security camera above the front door, just to see if anything was really there. One evening, after returning home from dinner with her daughter Ava, they got a notification that the camera had picked up a strange movement, and what they saw caught them completely off guard.
Oh shit, Jose. Here he is.
A man was walking slowly along the sidewalk in front of their house, but just as he reached a certain spot, he vanished. They rushed outside, hoping to find footprints or some sign of where he'd gone, but there was nothing, not even a single sign that anyone had been there at all. When they shared what happened with their neighbors, they learned they weren't the only ones who'd seen something strange. One neighbor even mentioned that the exact spot where the man disappeared used to be an old bus stop, and that back in 1989, a terrible accident had taken place there. Melissa didn't need convincing anymore. She already knew what this was, and that night she lit a candle and placed it on the windowsill, and from that moment on, they never saw the man again. This was definitely a paranormal activity, and whatever was lurking around their street just needed help getting home. Derek is the kind of man who appreciates quiet moments like when the kids have gone to bed and the only sounds left are the soft breathing of his wife beside him. But one night, after finishing an episode of American Dad and switching off the television, he heard something. Watch this moment and listen closely. A dragging noise, like something heavy had been pulled across the floor, came from the dining room. But their dining set was the kind that doesn't move unless someone makes it move. So Derek was trying to understand how something so heavy could have shifted so loudly without a single person out of bed. He didn't check right away because the noise reminded him of something that had happened years ago when every cabinet in the kitchen slammed shut at the same time in the middle of the night. He and his wife rushed into the kitchen expecting a mess, but everything was in place. No broken plates, no open doors, just silence. Within a few days, Derek reached out to a small paranormal team that had investigated homes in the area before, and after visiting the house, they confirmed what he feared most. The activity wasn't random, it was deliberate, and whatever it wasn't just passing through, it was claiming space. I hope things get better after this intervention, but with how active the house has been, Derek's not so sure. For now, all he can do is wait, and hope the next sound isn't closer than the last. The following video is about a man named Tyler who had always imagined that moving off-grid would bring peace. The kind of peace that comes from stepping away from city noise, endless traffic, crowded neighbors, and all the clutter and chaos of modern life. For a while, it did. His home sat alone on a hilltop, surrounded by trees, with no neighbors for miles. But one night, at 3:18 a.m., Tyler's phone buzzed with a single ring notification from the camera pointed toward the tree line, and although he didn't check it right away, convincing himself it was probably nothing, the next morning he opened the app, and this is what he saw. a figure moved across the edge of the frame, dressed in white, gliding forward with a strange, rigid stillness, its clothes untouched by the wind, its steps too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't walking at all, but floating, unaware or maybe uninterested, that a camera was watching, and just as it appeared, it vanished into the trees. Tyler rushed outside, checking every inch of the fence line for footprints or broken branches, or any sign that someone had been there, but there was nothing. No trail, no marks. And ever since that night, he hasn't slept quite the same. I guess living off-grid keeps people out, but it doesn't promise you'll be alone. It just strips away the noise, the distractions, the excuses, and leaves you alone with what's really there. Some fears don't need a reason. They live quietly in the backs of our minds, and for Jordan, basements had always stirred something he couldn't explain, a quiet unease that never really left no matter how often he tried to dismiss it. So when his grandparents invited him to visit their old farmhouse tucked deep in the back roads of Ohio and offered him the basement guest room, he smiled and agreed, even though something in him said no. The first night felt normal, until just after 2 a.m., when a strange vibration rolled through the floor, followed by a sound he couldn't place. He sat up, reached for his phone, and started recording to be sure he wasn't making it up. The sound was like a broken trumpet, and it was too close to ignore. The next morning, he uploaded the clip, hoping for answers, but instead, people pointed out something he hadn't noticed at all. In the background, just behind the basement window, was a pale face that was watching. Jordan never got a clear answer about what he saw that night, but ever since, he keeps the basement light on, just in case. But this might not be the solution, because some fears don't go away, especially once they finally have a face. In the following clip, a man is going to the cemetery to pay his respects to his father, but as he walks through a particular section of the cemetery, he notices an accident has happened there. Then, something else catches his attention. Watch.
Damn, man. People gotta learn to slow down. Lucky they didn't hit none of these tombstones. Real lucky. Hello? You alright? You okay? What the hell? What the f is going on here? There ain't nobody there. Miss? Hello?
The sound was getting louder as he approached the car, but looking inside, there's no one there. Later that day, he heard about the accident in the news and that the victims, a man and a woman, were rushed to the hospital, but only the man made it. When he compared the time the incident happened to the time he visited, it was hours apart, so that explains why no one was in the car. Some believe he might have stumbled into what's called a residual haunting, where an intense moment in time repeats itself, like an echo, for anyone unlucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. Others think the woman's spirit may have lingered, confused, or unwilling to move on after the crash. There's even the chilling thought that the sound wasn't coming from the car at all, but from something unseen in the cemetery itself. Do you believe this was the ghost of the woman that passed, or is there some other explanation for what happened? Now, in this next clip, a man arrives home after work when he starts hearing faint voices. At first, he thinks someone has broken into his house, but as he gets closer, the realization hits him. The voices are coming from inside his girlfriend's room. He gathers courage and steps inside, and this is what he saw.
Recién llego a mi casa y se ve la luz acá y había alguien. Pero se lo juro que había alguien. Se escucha. Se escucha. Te estoy escuchando. Se vio loca.
If you turn your volume up, you'll hear voices. And then, the part that would make anyone's blood run cold. His girlfriend's teddy bear begins to move on its own, its head twitching slightly in a way no wind or vibration could explain. Now here's where it gets even more disturbing. There's an old belief among paranormal investigators that stuffed animals, especially ones given as gifts, can act as vessels for spirits or even darker entities. Some say this is because toys, being symbols of innocence, attract malicious forces that want to twist that innocence into something unsettling. And while you might think this would happen only with old toys picked up from yard sales or thrift stores, in this case, the teddy was brand new, bought directly from a store. When his girlfriend got home, he told her what happened. To his surprise, she didn't laugh it off. Instead, she admitted she had heard faint noises from the teddy at night, like whispers, but she always told herself it was her imagination. Until now. The very next day, things got worse. He returned from work and found the teddy in a far more disturbing position. Watch this.
Se están escuchando ruidos. Quiero grabar todo. Ahí está. Quiero que... ¿Qué carajos? No hay nadie, loco. No hay nadie, necesito que vean. No hay nadie. Deja de burlarme, hijo de puta. No hay nadie. Te escucho esto. ¿Qué carajos es eso? ¿Qué querés? ¿Qué querés? Cabrón. ¿Qué querés, hijo de puta? ¿Qué querés, hijo de puta? ¿Qué querés, hijo de puta? ¿Qué querés? No hay nadie acá, loco. No hay nadie. Se están escuchando ruidos o pasos, no sé qué. Pero está retumbando todo. Está retumbando toda la casa. ¿Qué mierda es eso? ¿Qué bien no se ve? No se ve la cámara, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? Se desenfoca eso. ¿Qué es eso? Es eso, muéstrate más, hijo de puta. ¿Qué es eso? Muéstrate más, coño. ¿Qué es eso? Vení para acá. ¿Qué es eso? Mostrate. Deja de irte. Se acaba de caer todo acá. No sé cuántos son, loco.
That night, neither of them could sleep, and at some point, both of their phones shut off at the exact same time. They tried charging them, switching chargers, plugging them into different sockets. Nothing worked. And then, as mysteriously as they had died, both phones turned back on the next morning. Some say this was a direct display of power from whatever entity had latched onto the teddy. Others insist it was a warning, a way of letting them know they weren't in control anymore. A few skeptics blamed faulty wiring or bad batteries, but even they struggled to explain the voices caught on camera. And so, like many other videos, I'll leave you to decide. Is this the work of an overactive imagination, a clever hoax, or proof that something truly malevolent can hide behind the face of an innocent soft animal? In the following video, a vlogger who some people call Nidun is sharing his latest realization with his viewers when this happens.
I feel like a sick benefit when you have kids is the fact that you can tell them to get you stuff. Like say he's about to go to sleep, right? And then I'm like, yo, Mari, can you get me the remote? He gets me the remote. He's probably wondering who I'm talking to right now because he's like, this guy lost his damn mind looking over there while we're the only ones in the room. But it's called vlogging. Oh, you're scared. You think I'm talking to a ghost. Okay, my bad. It's called vlogging. It's called vlogging, so if you look at the camera and talk to the camera, there's actually people there when you post it. I know you see nothing. Oh, you do see something? It's a little creepier than seeing nothing, 'cause... Okay. Okay, chill, bruv. There's no one there. If you ain't talking to the camera, you shouldn't be talking to no one else, because there's no one standing over there. There's no one standing there, so who are you talking to on that side? What do you say? Who are you talking to? You see people? Do you see people that aren't here? Why are you looking there now? No one's on the beanbag, bruv. Chill, fam, chill. Okay, you scared yourself, and you just scared me too, bud. Who are you waving at? No, don't be doing that. There's no one there.
It got creepy when the little boy started feeling unsettled. You'll notice he was looking at different corners of the room with no one there. In one corner, he stares for a long time. In another, he looks and almost starts crying. It was as if there were several people there. Some he liked and some he didn't. Viewers were quick to point out kids at his age tend to act like that, while others shared terrifying experiences they had with their own children, seeing things no one else could. One mother mentioned her daughter stares at corners and then smiles. Another said babies only see angles and jinns. Others speculated that children might still have what some call the veil between worlds thin, allowing them to see spirits that adults can't. Some suggested the boy could have been sensing residual energy left behind in the house, possibly from past events. A few even believed it might not have been human at all, but something imitating a human presence to get the child's attention. But can anyone really tell what a little child sees? Like other videos, this remains unresolved. The following video is about Clay, who moved from a house he lived in for 6 years because he was always hearing knocking every single day. Imagine living with strange activities for 6 years, and he still couldn't find what was causing the strange things in his home. But the new house he got wasn't any better. Finer, yes, but when it comes to strange activity, no improvement. One morning, he's doing the dishes when this happens. You'll notice the chair moves without anyone being there. Right after, he hears a knocking sound. Even after putting the chair back in its place, the same thing happens again. The knock. Then the chair sliding on its own. He later showed footage from earlier that morning with the lights flickering. And while the chair was moving in the kitchen, this was happening in his room at the exact same time. From his years in the old house, Clay knows well to put cameras everywhere. And in this place, that decision was more important than ever. It's like he left one nightmare only to walk straight into another. But there's one detail about this new apartment you need to know. There's a locked door he's not allowed to open, part of the rental agreement. And the strangest part is, he wasn't told why, and no one will say what's inside. Some speculate it could be a sealed off room where something terrible happened. Maybe even the site of a death or violent event that the landlord doesn't want tenants to know about. Others believe it could be an old storage space that holds something far more dangerous, like an object that's been contained because it's tied to the activity. One night, Clay wakes up to the sound of footsteps. Then, this happens. If you turn your volume up, you'll hear them clearly, like someone walking across the room. But Clay was in bed, and he lives alone. Some viewers analyze the footage frame by frame, pausing and zooming in, and claim they saw a shadowy figure walk past. Clay admits he saw it too, but told himself it must have been a trick of the light. But this excuse didn't hold up after the next incident. Clay was up late working on some videos one night when this happened. Have a look. He felt something touch his shoulder, but when he turned around, there was no one in the room. You'll also notice the door moved slightly, but it didn't close. Then, there was a loud bang from inside the room that made him look back again. He checked every room in the house, but found nothing, until he started hearing tapping. Slow at first, then faster, like something trying to get his attention. After he searched everywhere and found nothing, he went back to his seat, and again the door moved, like someone was trying to close it. The most unsettling clip came when Clay had friends over. After a long night of catching up and playing games, they went to bed, but Clay's camera captured this. The pattern was strangely familiar. First the knocking, then the lights, then footsteps, and the fact that clip came from a notification on his camera app that a motion was detected in that area and no one was seen is still fascinating Clay. He showed the rest of his friends and every person swore they hadn't left their beds until morning. So what was moving, and is whoever or whatever connected to the locked door in Clay's apartment? Let me know what you think. The following clip is about a woman named Clarissa, who's living with a strong feeling that something dark is lingering in her house. And you know what they say? When you feel something's there, you're probably right. One quiet weekend, she's home with her 3-year-old son when this happens.
I'm at work, but I need to share this video with you guys. I need your advice. Tell me what you guys think. I have a ghost. I know I do. Ever since I moved into this house 3 years ago, I've always said that there's like a dark spirit or dark energy in there. And guys, this weekend I caught it on camera. I was loving my son, as you'll see in the video. I was giving him lots of loving, and I walk away and he points to the door and he tells me monster. So pay attention to the door, guys. The whole video, the door's closed. I can even show you videos before that. My door is closed. There's no possible way it could have opened. The air wasn't on. There wasn't a breeze. Nobody was home. Okay, it was just me and my son. So watch the door closely and tell me what you think. You can't hear sound in it because my camera doesn't record sound, but my son said when he points, he says monster. So if you see in the video, you can see me like turn around and pause and look at the door like, was the door open? Like I was even freaking out because I'm like, am I going crazy? Did I open the door? No. I went back to all the other videos. I did not open the door. Did not open the door. So watch and tell me what you guys think, because I'm a big believer in all this stuff. So let me know, guys. All right, guys, so watch closely. I go give him some love, and then I turn around and then just watch the door. I also replay the video at the end so you can see the door. At this point, I'm freaking the hell out, you guys. Excuse my language, but look at me. I'm like, what the hell? And my 3-year-old is the one who pointed it out. Mind you, he is 3. But I'm freaking out. I grab my phone and I hold him closely. And then there's the replay so you guys could see closely.
The door slowly opens on its own with no draft, no one else in the house, and no faulty hinges, because Clarissa already had it checked. But that's not the disturbing part. It's what her son does next that deeply unsettles her. He looks toward the doorway, lifts a finger, and says one word: monster. She shared the footage online hoping for answers. but the advice she got only left her more confused. While many viewers agreed her son likely saw something she couldn't, the suggestions for what to do next were all over the place. Some said don't cleanse the house, it could open a portal. Others warned against saging, claiming it might make the entity angrier or attract something worse. Now, she's stuck and afraid to act, but even more afraid to do nothing. If you were in her shoes, what would you do?